Welcome to Recipe Club, where we debate the best way to cook the food you want to eat. Ciao, Bella. My name is Chris Ying. Here in the clubhouse with me today are three pizza-loving Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. First, together with her husband, she owns and operates RONAN, one of LA's most well-loved Italian restaurants, Caitlin Cutler. Is there a place for ranch dressing on your pizza?
Absolutely.
All over the pizza. Any pizza.
Honestly, that first bite where the corner is, that in the ranch is the peak. But I get why people crust dip. But they're missing out.
You've just earned a lot of credibility. Next, as the showrunner for Dinner Time Live, he made me dress up as a cat, a cannibal, and Ebenezer Scrooge, so I made him join Recipe Club. Brandon Monk, you have 6 adults at your house for dinner.
Yes.
How many large pizzas are you ordering?
It's a great question. Probably 4. And then maybe some like little tiny like side ones just in case.
Just a sidecar pizza?
Just a sidecar pizza.
I feel you.
Like a specialty one, you know?
I feel you. And finally, together with his wife, he owns and operates Rearden, Chef Daniel Cutler, Mary F. Kill. Pepperoni, sausage, and mushroom.
Ooh.
Mary mushroom, pepperoni. Sorry, F pepperoni. Kill sausage. I'm over it.
Wow.
Pepperoni. Mushrooms are like not even on pizza. Just like mushrooms. Forget about mushrooms. They're so good.
Okay,
mushrooms are the best.
The Mushroom King over here. I've brought these 3 newcomers to the club for pizza. Not only because they're experts, they're also family. Each of them has cooked a publicly available pizza night recipe. We're going to get to all that in just a minute, but first, let's set the table a little bit. Welcome to the show. I'm a little outnumbered here. Brandon, your husband and Caitlin are cousins.
Yes, and best friends.
And besties.
Yes.
They wanted me to say that.
Yeah.
They really are.
Every time we get drunk, we tell everyone.
Yeah. And they have a tendency to speak their own language when they had a few too many.
This sounds adorable at its best, super annoying at its worst.
That's exactly what it is.
The 3 of you are cousins-in-law then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, it seems just from our sort of pre-show mingling, there's some competitive spirit in this group here. And Daniel's pointing.
I mean, don't you want to take bragging rights back to your family? Like,
Yes.
We have a big family vacation this summer. Yeah. I want to milk this for all it's worth.
Someone's got to lose.
There's no point in having a family unless you have bragging rights over them.
Exactly.
So today is pizza night. And with this sort of spread of these kind of home pizza ovens, whether it's your Unis or your Goznis or whatever it is, there are more people making pizza at home than I ever imagined would happen. There's a lot of people making pizza at home who are also saying things to their friends like, this is better than going to a restaurant. This is like, my pizza is incredible. Even though they're all using the same recipe or the same dough from the same places.
Or they're buying the dough from a restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. So let me start with this. For the 2 of you who own and operate one of the best places to have pizza in Los Angeles, make the case for why someone should or shouldn't really be trying to make a proper, Neapolitan style pizza at home.
Well, I mean, you could try, but there's just so much that goes into it. There's so many hands that touch it that it's like you really can't I mean, if you mix it by hand, sure, but it's inconsistent. And if you're not doing it hundreds and hundreds of times a day, you're not going to really be understanding what you're dealing with. You might get lucky a few times, but like, let's say you sign up to have like 10 people over and you have to make 8 pizzas. Mm-hmm. It's going to take 40 minutes in your uni. Like, it's gonna
one at a time.
It's going to take me 90 seconds, maybe 120 seconds.
What about from like a technical side? Is there, I mean, like everyone, I think, thinks that the home pizza oven is the same as what you guys have at the restaurant.
You don't get the same flavor as like a wood burning oven. You don't get the same kind of like evenness of cook and responsivity that you get. Like, you could throw a pizza in the Gosney and get a great pizza out. But like, and we use them for catering. Like, we crank hundreds of pizzas out of these ovens. There's just not, it's missing like that little 3% magic factor.
That being said, Brandon, as the civilian among the three here,
Yes.
have you ever attempted a home pizza situation?
I mean, I want to be honest and like, no. I mean, I was thinking about this. There's like these like flashes of memory. Remember when Boboli was a big deal?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. I remember like buying it and then like, I'm like, this is going to be the best thing. And it was, it always, and that's why I decided like, there's people out there that make things that I have no business. And same thing with Dinner Time Live. It was like, after you taste the food that Dave made, it's like, some people on our staff would go and recreate it. I was like, it's never going to be better than this. So I should just enjoy this.
I do love that moment when we all thought, you know what? This bag of shelf-stable pizza crust that's already been cooked that hangs in the aisle is going to solve all my pizza problems. Like,
Room temperature, nonetheless.
the room temperature shelf-stable plastic bag of pizza hanging from a shelf was going to win. Caitlin, are you of the same mind, like no pizza at home? What do you like? Would you make pizza at home?
100% no.
Just
No.
flat out no.
I really enjoy when people at the restaurant, whether it's line cooks who want to get promoted to the pizza station, or we've let customers come in and try it, and their reaction, just like 20 seconds in, it's like I give up. Daniel makes it look so easy. Most pizzaiolios make it look so easy. It's not. It's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of components. It takes a lot of training.
Yeah.
And then most people don't have a Gosney or an uni at home. And if you're using a convection oven, forget it. You're never going to get anything as good.
Yeah, I do think there is something magically delusional about sitting there in front of a pizzaiolo who's like shaping the dough by hand.
Yeah.
And it just looks so smooth and easy. You think, oh, I could put my hands on that and it would do the same exact thing. It just like is flat out not true. I have another question. When I spoke to Daniel and Caitlin before the show a few weeks ago, and it was like, you're going to be on with Brandon, your cousin-in-law, you were a little skeptical.
Well, Brandon is one of the best hosts. I've been to many parties at his house. It's fabulous. I've never seen him actually cook until today.
No.
Not true?
No, she's like, never cooked. No, she's completely right. And no was like, no, never cooked.
I didn't know he was going to agree to do it. I didn't know it was like a possibility.
She was like, he's very good at curating a cheese plate.
He curates the best spread. Like, he gets the best sandwiches from the best sandwich place, the best charcuterie from the best charcuterie place. Like, and you're not going to want anything. Like, if you're like, I'm suddenly craving mint chip ice cream, he's going to be like, yes, I have some in the freezer. It's been waiting for you.
This is what makes him such a good producer.
Yeah.
I do produce. I do produce things. Like,
does.
I do research. I figure it out, but no one's ever asked me, have you made this? So it's very evident that it's curated. And it's not homemade.
But you did make something today. And if people are at home trying to host a pizza night, which is a common thing, and you're not ordering pizza, there are 613 million results when you Google pizza recipe. That's a lot of recipes. I think we are basically discarding with most of them. My sort of hypothesis for this episode is that you shouldn't try to make pizza at home generally, especially like a Neapolitan style or like a New York style slice. You want something that is designed for a home kitchen. If you tuned into this podcast looking to hear about like hydration levels and how to like trick out your uni or whatever, like I'm sure there's a weird subreddit out there you can refer to. But I think for the purposes today, what we're looking for in terms of a good pizza night recipe is something that can actually be performed at home with home equipment, with a home oven that maxes out at 450 degrees or whatever the case may be, convection or not, and something that is still going to give you the vibes of pizza, restaurant pizza or not, without having to pretend that your pizza, your burnt ass flat pizza, is like as good as the one that you can get at a restaurant. So with those parameters and the table set, I think it's time to move into our recipe reports. Each of my 3 Recipe Club members today has chosen a publicly available recipe, whether it's already online or something that we'll share on our channels. The week's recipes come from Caitlin Cutler herself, the Gosney website, and Serious Eats. Caitlin, Brandon, Daniel brought the results of their investigative cooking to the studio today. It's all laid out before them right here. Everybody tasted everything. Everybody scored everything. Everybody wrote down these comments that are both complimentary and critical. And we're going to get into them one at a time. I'm going to start just with Caitlin right here to my left. Caitlin, you chose a fried pizza salad.
Yes.
So fried pizza is actually is a thing.
Yep.
It's a Neapolitan sort of street food. It's like frying pizza dough is something that started around World War II, from what I understand. It's like a real wartime food. There is a saying, the producers wanted me to try to say it. Aoje aoto. Meaning
Bless you.
So honestly, when I was trying to figure out the pronunciation, I had my translator set to Chinese, so a Chinese accent reading Italian, and it was not good. But meaning it was like something you could eat that day and pay for 8 days later. This is it was like a real sort of struggle food, a lot of poverty, a lot of hunger. But you've taken this idea and turned it into a salad. Tell us about it. Tell us where it came from and how you did it.
Well, first of all, here's why I'm going to win. I am a professional home cook, okay? I am your target audience.
Yes.
I am very interested in food. Obviously, I own a restaurant.
Yes.
And I have 3 kids.
Yes.
And I work full time. So I want to make delicious meals at home, but I don't have a lot of time. And I don't have all the tools, maybe. And I have kids, pulling on me. So I got to get something on the table, and I really want it to be good. So immediately when this came up, I was like, no, you can't cook pizza at home. I fully agree with your thesis. Unless you have a Gosney or an Uni, you can, but you're going to have to work really hard to get good at it. So I scrapped regular pizza off of my list of things I was going to make immediately. And my brain just immediately, it was like, we're frying. And I know that frying might sound intimidating at home, but it's not. You just need to buy enough oil.
That's dangerous.
I didn't
Daniel,
burn myself.
One more time.
It's dangerous when you have 3 kids pulling on you to fry.
Okay, do it on the back burner.
Anything.
I did it. I didn't burn a single kid. They're all whole.
You fried when the kids weren't there.
There's we specifically.
I'm gonna fry some pizza doughs tonight when I get home.
I also want to mention that if you're watching this on Spotify or YouTube, we have arranged this married couple such that Brandon is a buffer between the two of them, very purposefully, and I think we were right in making that. Okay.
We love each other.
The only way, we do. The only way to get the pizza dough to come out hot, crispy, delicious is fry it in the oven. It's just not going to get that same thing. And I own a pizzeria. I want you to be buying pizza from pizzerias, mom and pop pizzerias. So that was my marketing plan here. Okay. So you fry the pizza dough. I used RONAN dough, but I also went to Trader Joe's because I got shamed by my husband for stealing his dough. Both work fabulously.
Ask her if she knows the recipe for Ronan's pizza dough.
It's on the wall at the restaurant. I could just go look at it. But it's in very bready technical terms. It's kind of like percentages and things.
Wait, did you buy the Trader Joe's already made pizza dough?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But also, okay, so appealing to home cooks. Who has time to make pizza dough?
Right.
I mean, you have to sometimes you just were like, I want pizza now. You don't want to plan a day ahead.
You don't have to defend yourself against
No,
these
but
two.
I'm convincing you why my recipe is the best.
Against the peanut gallery. Okay.
Yeah.
You either steal some pizza dough from the restaurant you own, or
Yes.
you can very easily go to a supermarket and find pre-made
You can also
dough.
call your favorite pizzeria. And it might not be on the menu. Ask them if you can buy it. They will probably say yes.
Would you do that?
We sell it all the time.
Yeah, I want your money.
See that? You can do that too. At that point, you should just eat at the goddamn restaurant.
True. Very true.
What are we doing now? What are we really doing?
So then after I fried the pizza dough, I was like, okay, so what do we top it with? So I went with countering the fried element of the pizza with the heavy greasiness with a really fresh, beautiful caprese-esque salad. So I just got the most beautiful ingredients. I went to the Santa Monica Farmers Market. I would also like to come back in August and represent my dish when tomatoes are more fresh.
That was on my comment card.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I went to the Beverly Hills cheese store, got the best cheese, but just go to the best cheese store near wherever you live. It's easier if you're in a major city, but, I got little burrata balls individually portioned for all of my judges here. And then I made a tomato vinaigrette, which was super easy, but added a little bit of something interesting to the dish. And then I also named it fried pizza salad, which I think is just going to get people to click on it because you're like, what the heck is fried pizza salad?
Yeah.
So I win. You don't even need to talk to them.
All right, that's a wrap, guys. That's today's show. It's all done. We've never had a self-declaration of victory. I think fried pizza salad, very, very well branded.
Yeah, thank
very
you.
well branded. As I was thinking about it, I was like, your tomato vinaigrette, very delicious. Also, the idea of like a pizza vinaigrette is some good SEO too. You know, just like the flavors of pizza and a salad dressing, really, really delicious. I think like, you know, this has some panzanella vibes to it, like a fried bread salad, really, really good. My first question, we'll get into the comments here. How would the dough sort of respond? So you fry these basically as whole dough balls.
Well, I did that, and the middle was still raw. So I just like take apart a little piece. I kind of stretch a little pizza and then throw it in the fryer, and it puffs up like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a little personal pizza size.
But you could also
pizza.
like cut it into little croutons and make like little donut hole croutons kind of thing.
Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would it work as well if you just either shallow fried it in a pan, or you just like drenched it in olive oil and put it in a convection oven or an air
No.
fryer or something? You're strong deep fry.
I like a deep fry.
Okay.
If I had to give up sweets or fried food, I love sweets. I would give up sweets.
Whoa.
Because fried food, man, I mean, it's so good.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I'm personally like a little averse to the deep frying. Not to say I don't do it, but let's see what your fellow competitors had to say here.
Yeah, let's see.
These are anonymous, so you can't hurt us.
These are not. These are
not anonymous.
misunderstood. These are not anonymous. These are covered with names. B Monk here. User B Monk says, "Love the donut-like texture of the dough. He loves the dressing, and he loved the use of tomatoes instead of sauce.
Oh,
All
thank you,
very
Brandon.
positive.
Thank you. I look forward to sitting next to you at the next family event.
Wait for it.
Maybe would have added some cheese to the dough as well,
Okay.
and don't enjoy cherry tomatoes. Just a personal thing.
Oh, well, I mean, I can't really. It's not my
It's
fault.
not eating raw tomatoes thing that happens in our family is out of control.
He's talking about my husband.
It's out of control.
There's
My dad is the same way.
Oh, is it? Oh,
there
yeah.
are so many people.
And my aunt has never had a single
And-
tomato in her life.
Yeah. Nor a salad.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
Whoa.
cousin Emily doesn't like tomatoes either.
No.
Oh, yeah.
So many
There's an
people don't like
aversion.
raw tomatoes. The best thing ever.
Okay.
Second to mushrooms.
Let me ask you this. Did you grow up
I grew up
with
eating
good tomatoes?
nothing. My mom can't cook her way out of a cardboard box.
Oh, Lord.
Tomatoes, though.
Nothing.
Nothing. But you're just took to raw tomatoes? I feel like most people
It's
in
a-
America grew up with like the mealy hot house
You
tomato.
can convince yourself to like anything.
Daniel believes liking things is a choice.
Your palate is a muscle. You can train it.
I agree with this very much. I always say it's like a language you haven't learned to speak yet.
Exactly.
You need to just practice it. I just sympathize. Why does your husband not enjoy the raw tomato?
Well, I don't know. To simplify it, you know, he's a military brat, so he grew up, and like sometimes, I don't want to generalize, but like growing up in different bases and things, maybe there's not the freshest produce. That's what I tell myself. When we first started dating, he said he'd never had a peach before. I almost thought about ending everything then. But no, I think it's just a taste preference. And it's just also just like, some people just have aversions. I love an heirloom tomato, but like anything like sort of a cherry tomato, grape tomato things, like people love them. That you know, viral like feta. Put the cherry tomatoes, the grape tomatoes in the dish and cook it. It makes my stomach flip. Just the idea of that flavoring. Yeah.
I agree. Most cherry tomatoes I'm not down with, but like you're in California, man.
But visually, didn't you
tomatoes
like my mix of
are
cherry tomatoes
outrageous.
and heirlooms? Wasn't that
I
beautiful?
love heirloom. Yeah. I just
Yeah.
avoided. I was like, do I even eat the cherry? And I was like, I'm not gonna do it.
Don't do it.
No.
You don't have to.
There is a
do it.
great and a crap version of everything in the world.
Yes.
Yes, that's true, including food podcasts. Daniel, you thought it was fresh. Dough was light and crispy.
Oh, you like the dough, huh?
I wonder why.
Imported burrata is lit. Thoughtful approach and garden basic.
Garden basil.
Basil, excuse me.
Basic.
Basic. Oh my god.
Some little critiques, all with accompanying exclamation points. More salt, He would have preferred. Now, you said he was going to want this.
Daniel always wants more salt.
He's got a chef palate.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, it's never enough salt.
Yeah.
It's not never enough salt, but there needed to be more salt.
He likes things heavily seasoned. Yeah.
More acid.
More acid.
In what form would you have liked a little more acid in there?
I mean, the vinaigrette wasn't acidic, really. It was kind of a flat.
It had
Also
sherry
didn't
vinegar in
have-
it, so you want more sherry vinegar? More
Needed
Dijon
more
mustard?
vinegar. So, like,
more
I
tomato
use a
juice?
trick. I use a trick when I want to acidulate something further
This is
is
going to be so ridiculous.
use citric acid.
Yeah.
Nobody
So that
at
you're
home
not
is
adding more liquid, but you're adding more acid.
Also a great descaler for your coffee machine. Citric acid. I'm a real
unfair.
homemaker. Cheese ratio a bit too high, but that's nitpicking, he said.
Yeah, that is.
I feel like these are all hitting you personally.
Yeah. Told you guys I was competitive.
Risky to do tomatoes off season, he
That's true.
acknowledged.
That's true.
But no, classic, simple. I thought this was the best kind of salad in which there is no salad.
Yeah.
It's just bread and cheese and, some tomatoes there.
But you can tell your doctor that you eat salad regularly.
Exactly, where it just really stretches the definition of salad. I thought the texture overall was like outstanding. Like there's crispy, there's soft and creamy.
Yeah.
Like the bread gets better, I think, the more it sort of soaks up the vinaigrette.
Yeah.
Like I said, like the fried pizza salad is so smart. The sort of pizza flavored vinaigrette, super smart. My critique was it was super beautiful. I think maybe at the expense of like eating it. I almost want to just be like messy and everything's torn up already and it's just like drenching in its own juices and it's just like a crazy salad. I think you were like making it really nice for us. But if I was like to do it at home, I think, would you prefer to do croutons or do you like to serve like a whole dough ball for everybody?
I like I liked it for this competition because it more mimicked an actual pizza.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get disqualified for going too far from pizza. But also the first time I plated it, I kind of ripped it open and then plated the things on top of it. So I agree with you. There's multiple ways to do this dish, which is also fun. You can put your own personal touch on it.
But she didn't do that, so we can't judge her on the ripping it open technique.
It's true. I can't, strictly speaking, I can only judge on what I saw.
That's true.
No, I thought
I'm
it was
gonna lose. This is
as an
karma.
idea. Delicious. I wonder if you got thrown some more like pizza-y things in there too. You can do anything with this, to your point. You can throw other toppings, make it feel more like
I would have put anchovies on it if it was just for me.
And then my other question was, if my tomatoes suck, can I still make this?
Not really.
You can't
no.
really make it, right?
No, a bad tomato is a bad tomato. But you
true.
could drizzle some sauce on there. Because you can always turn a bad tomato into sauce.
Okay, that was our first recipe. I'm going to proceed down the line now. Brandon, every time we'd be in the studio for Dinner Time Live, we spent basically a year in each other's constant company while Dinner Time Live was in production. And, endless debate over pointless nonsense. Who makes the best this, that, or the other thing. But every time someone would be debating the best clam chowder or lobster roll or lemonade or boats or whatever, Brandon would inevitably open my eyes to some strange, obscure, wonderful Rhode Island version of the thing we were talking about. Today is no different. Brandon, what the hell is Rhode Island bakery pizza?
Well, it comes by many different names, but I mean, I grew up my full adult life. I've lived in either New York City or Los Angeles. So I was like, I can't represent those places pizza wise, especially with, going against these two. So I thought maybe it would be, helpful to go nostalgic. This is something that we have. People call it party pizza. We called it bakery pizza, pizza strips. Basically, this is something in Rhode Island, like coffee milk, like frozen lemonade, like clam cakes, like clear chowder, is one of those things when you go home, you have a craving for it because it's made there. So basically, the dough's basically bread dough, and then it's a very light sauce, and then you sprinkle Parmesan on the top of it, kind of thing. Usually it's made in sheets. It's always served room temperature. Like I said, we used to go to this one bakery near our house that was the best, and that's why I call it bakery pizza. They also sell it in markets. I've seen it in cellophane at the checkout at a gas station every once in a while, like a mom and pop type
Did you just
thing.
see it or did you taste it?
If you have a real hankering for it, you'll get the gas station version, but it's always a little bit more oily. It usually comes in wax paper. always served room temperature. And then one of the things when I looked at the brief of this, it's like in the studio when you're warming up your things, it's like there's a microwave to warm it up. There's no like oven. It's not like the Dinner Time Live studios, right? So I thought, oh, this is automatically served room temperature. This is authentic too, a little nostalgic. And I have to say, it's like in making this, it was very much like being brought back to like a birthday party. You used to get, this was a special treat at your birthday party. It wasn't like the normal pizzas that come. You had to go specifically, go to the bakery, get them. And they come in these long strips, but for parties, you cut them up into these little bite-sized things. And it is a little acidic. If you've gone back to the table too many times, the roof of your mouth sort of gets a little like stingy. But, and I think the corners are the best. It's like brownies. It's like people like sometimes like the middle one, sometimes like the corners. I gave everybody corners because that's my personal favorite. So
I don't understand the people who like the middle brownie.
Yeah. You need the crispy edges.
That's not for me.
No.
Have you seen that pan that like
Yeah, where it's just like it's all
you
edges
bake the bread
basically.
and it's like a snake?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay, so you took a recipe from the Ghazni website.
Yes, which I didn't know what Ghazni was. And now I'm like, oh, that's the lady that did this. She put it in a pizza oven. I put it in an actual oven because I don't have,
Yeah, so you adapted instead of for like the 800 degree Ghazni, you put it into your home oven. You cooked it on a sheet tray.
Yes.
At like 400 or something. And I love this idea that like this is specifically designed to be served room temperature. You were very much engineering it for this. And here's the question. Thinking about what Caitlin's view of you and your cooking ability was, I noticed in the recipe submitted, you made this more than one time
yes.
before today.
I made it 14 times.
No, you didn't.
Well, I guess I did. I tried it. Well, I tried different things. Is it the whole thing?
Whoa. Literally? Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, you think I'm competitive?
Well, I'm not. I know what I'm coming into. I'm a television producer. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
Like, it's like rehearsal is a thing. So it's like, and also it was important for me to get it as authentic to what I remember as possible. And so I tried different things. I tried and then there was also like elements where like the taste, the feel of it wasn't exactly right. So then I was like, and then I ordered, I not ordered, but I put some cornmeal at the bottom with some Parmesan, and I put butter because it was like, this is what it needs. So it was almost one of those things where I was like trying to like get it closer and closer to the way I remember as a kid. And so that's one of the reasons why I did it. Other reason is that sometimes it'd come out, I don't know what I did, but sometimes it would be full, the bread would be completely flat. And I also toyed with how much sauce because it felt like it was too much. And then it was like...
Was this pizza today the best of the 14?
Ooh.
Or was there like a unicorn pizza that you just don't know how
There
to get
was
back
a
to?
unicorn pizza. Thank you for asking that question. Thank you so much. There was a unicorn pizza. It was phenomenal. And also, I will say, I've had it so many times, I hate it now. So
You might not be getting it when you go back home next.
I will be interested to know.
Oh.
Usually it's like, because I think we might go home for a Christmas, and that's when it's like my uncle's like big Christmas Eve party, and they're the big tray of them. I will be interested to know if it like
Maybe you
hits.
should make it, wrap it in wax paper, take it with you, and do a side by
Well, the
side.
thing about Rhode Islanders, and maybe it's just my family, they are brutally honest, and so I'm worried that it would be like
You don't want to
hurt
ruin
my heart.
Christmas.
I'm thinking more about
Brandon.
making it for our holiday party. And then having it out and having people be like very Angelino,
People will
being
be
like,
like-
"Oh my god!" Yeah.
Also, people will be like, oh my God, Brandon made something.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you say somebody would be like that?
What? Okay, so the unicorn pizza was like what number? I can't believe you made it 14 times. You made this pizza 13 more times than we would rehearse an episode of Dinner Time Live.
Well, I mean, there were some episodes that we did the same thing over and over again.
True.
But the unicorn pizza, the dough, it was because, like I said before, it's like bread dough. You know what I mean? It's like, and I tried it with like pizza dough to get it to more of like a sort of like a harder consistency in a sense. So that was it. Was like a sort of between this being softer and a little bit harder, like a nice like mouthfeel kind of thing.
Okay. So how close is this in your mind? In your honest estimation,
Yeah.
how close is this to what you remember from Rhode Island?
This is like 85%.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. So for people who aren't, tasting this, it is a little bit like the texture here is a little bit like focaccia. Mm-hmm. It's more of that kind of like cakey bready than it is like stretch, like a pizza, like a Neapolitan pizza or something. The tomato sauce was what?
It's a bottle. It's like pizzata. No, pizzata maybe. It's like it's in like the sauce aisle at the supermarket.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out if I could make that from scratch, and it was just basically Italian tomatoes, and then you just like basically drain all the seeds, and then you pulverize them. So it's like a watery paste almost.
Oh, you're saying a passata.
Passata, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I was like, I don't know, Brandon.
It's like I tried different brands. One was too acidic, one was better. So I'm like, yeah.
Man, I'm so proud of you.
Well, I mean, it felt like, like I'd never cooked. It felt like more like dinner time livey. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, and I cleaned everything up as I was going.
I'm proud of you for cleaning up.
Yeah.
Your dough is, you just let it rise one time or 2 times?
2 times.
Okay. Was that the recipe? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so getting into some of the feedback from your cousins-in-law here. Daniel, sauce is bright.
This is before I knew that it was store-bought.
This wasn't the...
Can I get my card back?
This isn't from the from-scratch portion of it. Yeah.
Dough is not heavy. Balance with Parmesan is great. More salt. He would like a little more salt. A little bit more. A little olive oil could brighten it up a little bit, he thought. Maybe a little oregano. But, whatever is traditional. You ate a corner and surprisingly think a middle piece would have been better.
Oh, well, by all means.
Why did you don't like the...
It's not that I don't like it. I feel like the balance of the bites that I had that were like sauce and crust and cheese were really good. The outside was a little dry for me, but once again, I don't know what I'm supposed to be eating is the kind of thing. So I kind of closed my eyes and I was like, okay, this is what he likes from the place, and I'm gonna transport myself there.
I do agree. When I first saw a picture of the thing, the strips of these party strips or whatever, I was like, damn, that middle part with all tomato looks pretty good. Have you ever had this, Caitlin?
No, I really can't wait to go home and Google this, to be honest with you. I've never heard of this. I'm really excited.
I mean, it is Google. Like trying to find a recipe for this wasn't that easy.
I just want to see the pictures in the bakery.
Yeah.
I don't need to go find, I just want visuals.
I have a link for you.
Okay.
You've never had this particular style, Daniel says, but he loves squares, so it's great. He did want the sauce recipe, but now you've revealed that there is not so much of sauce. So it was thinner when he went on, and then it sort of reduced and got that. Because I agree, Dan, you said it was like kind of nice and thick, like it's very like reduced, but still very bright.
Yeah, it's basically like, you put in, it's like you grate in 2 giant cloves of garlic, oregano, salt, and then it's just basically the sauce itself. And then when it comes, it's so like magical sort of when it comes out of the oven because it's just steaming and sort of things. And I did try to be like, keep it in much longer, but then it gets so dried out. And I'm trying to figure out if like, now that I'm thinking back on it, were these like sheets of pizza like left in the bakery for like a week at a time, and they just got better and it got chewier and all the different stuff.
Possible.
So
that's probably true.
And then was it like a dough? Did they make the dough, or was it like left over from something else?
Yeah, this feels very much like a leftover, like all the scraps kind of thing.
Yeah.
Caitlin found the sauce to be juicy and sweet.
I noticed it was very sweet.
In a good way. It was very nice.
Yeah. But not too sugary.
No, not too sugary. Just,
Eats well at all temperatures. Again, credit for thinking about that. You like the cornmeal, the little crunchy cornmeal on the bottom.
I do like cornmeal a lot.
You would have preferred some slightly crispier edges.
Yeah, I thought the edges, I expected them to get that, I think maybe olive oil, crispy. I think I was thinking of focaccia. That's where my memory goes. So I was expecting that. And then I was surprised when I didn't get that. But the cornmeal was a good bonus. So I was willing to trade that for the cornmeal.
Try bring the cornmeal up and around.
Yeah.
Just make a new thing.
Yeah. Well, I did. The cornmeal
a 15th time, Brandon.
Yeah. The cornmeal isn't traditional for it. And I tried it with olive oil, and then it would go too much. And then I tried with butter on the crust. This was butter on the crust on the outside. Just brushed it before I put it in for the bake.
I like that.
And I could have gone maybe a little bit longer.
Caitlin wanted to add anchovy.
Yeah, she always wants to. Yeah.
Would that have been okay? Or Rhode Island, or the Ocean State just revolt?
I mean, I can't speak for all of them. But
they're
fish forward.
I was going to say, you guys are into seafood.
Fish forward.
Yeah. Pro fish.
I I've never been to Rhode Island. I feel like I've been there now.
Right.
I feel like I got a real taste of this. I thought the tomato was very nice. I think we all love the tomato. It's actually like the whole thing is beautiful. I will say like it's so nice. Like that tomato layer is so sort of uniform and like a perfect topping. It is extremely beautiful to me. I like the room temperature of it all. I think all three of us were suggesting this olive oil thing. I think we were all expecting more of that kind of like super drenched in olive oil, whatever Sicilian style or focaccia bread. Yeah. I just wanted like a little more fat. I didn't like the cornmeal, I will say.
Oh, okay.
I'm anti cornmeal on the bottom. I'm just like dusting it off. I've never had this before. It was wonderful. My only other question. Well, I asked you about the double rise. I didn't think that pizza recipe you sent us had a double rise, which I think is like always a focaccia thing.
Oh, wow. You know what? I wonder, because I did use 2 different recipes. I wonder if
You just intuited that you needed to let it rise.
Because also I didn't have a
twice.
stand mixer, so I used a food processor to mix the dough. And so, which I used a YouTube video of this like, lady showed me how to do
by
it.
hand next time, man.
I don't know.
I don't think it doesn't need a lot of.
No.
It doesn't need a lot of kneading.
It's just
at
when
all.
it comes together in that perfect ball, it's like done.
And then my only other question was: this is party strips, but you went squares.
It's party strips. I thought it would be too much for everybody now I think about it because everybody wanted a middle. But this is how this is like when kids would call it party pizza, this is what all the parents would cut it up into the squares because we're having a party here. And the strips you'd put in your lunchbox and you'd have it for
Nice pivot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well covered.
Yeah.
This isn't Regrets Club, it's Recipe Club. Okay. All right. So that is 2 recipes down. We have 1 more to go. Daniel, you have brought something again from the same lesser known pizzas of America here. You did a New-England-Greek-Style pizza mashup with a RONAN favorite, the Spicy Chomper. Talk to us about what a Greek-style pizza is, why you went this way.
So I don't know what Greek style pizza is, but I love
Neither do I.
love Serious Eats, the website.
Yeah.
For like it's a great like jump off point. They have so many things from like simple to complicated to all this. Not that this is a plug for Serious Eats, but like
We're gonna bleep this all out.
even still to this day will like if I want to make something, I'll start there and like
as a
go from
baseline,
there.
it's like Serious Eats as a baseline is can't be beat. It's
great.
like it's not going to be total nonsense. It's
Right.
going to be like the OG way of doing something, like the sort of proper way of doing
right.
something.
So that's where I started because the whole thing was like do something someone can make at home and like all of that stuff on that website you can make at home.
Mm-hmm.
You could pivot it, you could change it, you could make it straight up, and it's great stuff. I didn't want to like pull a recipe from the restaurant, but I wanted to use something like flavor wise from the restaurant, so that's why I used the topping set from this Spicy Chomper pizza, which has been on the menu since day 1 and is super popular. And it's kind of like our pepperoni pizza. So I figured like a mashup was the right thing to do. All the ingredients are super accessible. And I just looked at all these dough recipes and actually this recipe is listed on Serious Eats in a few different articles as different doughs, but the measurements are the same. So they're using it as like if they're saying like, oh, make a pan, like this one was just dough, really. It had like a couple extra recipe stuff, but the main thing was the dough. And I wanted a dough that was like easy. So basically you put all this stuff in a bowl. Mm-hmm. There's weight measurements and volumetric measurements. So you could use cups if you wanted. And you just like mix it till it's together, put plastic wrap over the top and throw it like on the counter.
And also to clarify, Daniel only works with sourdough professionally, so he went to a yeasted dough to make sure it was something that a home cook could do.
So that it was like accessible and easy, and you didn't have to spend your entire life feeding your starter and getting it ready for your pizza night.
Let me just say this as a longtime recipe clubber, truly appreciate a baker who is in professional life using the poolish and using their starter, making concessions for the home cook who just has some instant yeast. I appreciate your flexibility here.
He played the game.
So it's so easy. You make, and then the next day, like it says in the recipe to like ball it and let it sit again. And I did that once, and it even just takes more time. For this one, I didn't even do it. I just pulled it right out of the bowl and put it on a sheet tray with a little bit of oil and like let it flatten out. And then I love this, like, Justin at Apollonia's Pizza does this square thing with this. I don't even know what it is or how he does it, but it's like cheese fingers that are coming up out of the thing. So the cheese crust on like the Detroit style square or whatever you want to call this is so good. And I had the idea to do it everywhere. So we put the dough separate and then I cheese lined the entire pan and then put the dough into the pan and topped it. And then I brought the temperature down a little bit so the cheese would have an opportunity to cook and crisp up while the dough also cooked. So instead of getting like a crispy dough crust, the whole thing is crispy cheese crust. And then the toppings on top is basically a pepperoni pizza. It's 5 different cheeses, but you could use like whatever cheese you want. You could do this, but you could also just be like, I have mozzarella cheese. Great. We use tomatoes from Mount Vesuvian soil. You don't need to use those. You can use whatever tomatoes you want.
You can use Caitlin's.
You can use
February
Brandon's passata from the supermarket
Yes.
aisle, like whatever. And then like a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt. We like to season everything. So like season the dough, season the sauce. The cheese is salty, like Parmigiano Reggiano is great. And then just take pepperoni and like put it in the meat grinder or the food processor so you get coverage.
Yeah, I love that. I love the sort of ground meat toppings.
And that's kind of why I said F sausage or kill sausage, because it's like so many things can give you kind of like that same feeling, but like the pepperoni flavor is the best flavor. It's the best meat.
If you like sausage, you can just grind your pepperoni into a sausage, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Grind mortadella, grind it all. You know what I mean? And then chili oil, because spicy is better.
I agree. So legit, in a sheet pan, home oven, 400 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, I used one of those like Lloyd's pans, which are like anodized nonstick. But you could do it in a sheet pan. You could do it I mean, that one's just nonstick. So I would do it maybe in like a nonstick saute pan could work. Like really the dough can go into any shape. It's super loose. It's super easy. You could punch it down. It'll still rise up. I tried to do a 24-hour ferment. I guess it's not a ferment, but whatever it is. And it works 24 hours later too. So it's not like you're constrained to a specific time.
Yeah. It's interesting that I read the recipe. If you guys go online and you look at the Serious Eats recipe for Greek style pizza, like it's Kenji's recipe, Kenji Lopez Alt, his whole thing is Greek pizza's terrible, except for very few of them are good. But in terms of, in terms of pizza at home, I would say whether it's Detroit style, Sicilian style, Greek style, the sort of sheet pan pizza is probably the best thing you can make at home.
Exactly.
Right? Like you don't need
Besides fried pizza.
Besides fried.
It's very, very dangerous
in terms of
fried
pure pizza. I mean, in terms of pure pizza, that was not a hint where any of the judging is headed. So let's get into some of the comments here. Brandon, love how it goes from crunchy to chewy.
Ooh.
Just love it.
I do.
I don't think we were rolling audio as we were all eating it, but Brandon, you pointed out the ASMR of it all. There was a moment where like 3 just like crunch across the board was really, really beautiful.
It was actually a really funny moment before I texted what I was doing to kind of like get them to sweat a little bit while they were recipe testing. And Brandon just goes, I win either way because I get to eat this.
Yeah, it's true. That's my jam.
It is wins all around here. Everything has been insanely delicious. This season is frustrating in that sense. You love the light sauce. You don't like a lot of tomato? What's up? Yours is tomato heavy.
Yeah, I was doing, this is a nostalgic journey. I try to do it as best as I could, but I have been known to order pizza no sauce.
Wow. You're a white pie guy.
Not necessarily. It's like, I don't know, like sometimes when we get like Pizza Hut pizza late at night, I'll do like a Supreme pan pizza no sauce.
Ooh.
Whoa.
It's so, when it gets really crispy, especially when it's one of those little ones, it's just like,
This is a hack.
it's so good.
Can we do that at your next holiday party? That sounds fun.
Yeah. after
You're like, you need to suck it up.
this at a holiday party.
We'll do this at the holiday party. Thank you, Daniel. But we'll do this after hours.
Yeah,
I
it'll
love
be
this.
late night.
Yeah.
This is a very Brandon style criticism. It is not, this was too spicy. It was, could be considered too spicy. By whom, Brandon?
I mean, I know some people.
It made your lips tingle a bit. That was
Yeah.
a criticism. That's usually a positive to me. What cheese is used? What does this say, Brandon? What
don't
cheese? You're asking what cheese?
Yes. but
Okay,
you
so
already
it's Sargento provolone on the bottom, store bought, and then the cheese blend that we use at the restaurant for this pizza is Scamorza unsmoked, Parmigiano Reggiano, Pecorino Romano, Pecorino Calabrese, and fresh whole milk mozzarella.
Whoa. That's one more than a quattro formaggi.
Cinque, it's on the menu. Cinque formaggi.
It's a cinque formaggi. Caitlin found it flavorful, cheesy, familiar but unique.
Oh.
Also greasy.
Greasy's not a bad thing, by the way.
We used to
Also-
serve it at the restaurant. On the menu, it said paper napkins as an ingredient because we wanted people to blot. It was like a. It was
You
like
encourage the blotting.
Well, it was like a. There were a lot of jokes on the original menu, which are no longer there because it was like an extra 8-minute server spiel at each table, and Caitlin was like, "We can't do the jokes anymore. We need
Now,
to
what is
sell
this
the pizza."
paper blotting thing
Yeah.
about
Well, that was
here?
the thing. It was a social experiment to see, would people do it?
Yeah.
Would they not do it? Would they ask?
Before we started, Brandon pointed out to us that if you're in a situation where you're greasy and you're shiny, that a toilet seat cover is a great blotter too. So maybe
We should just serve
Maybe
that
I
with
should
the
serve
I
seafood.
should have used. Yeah,
I don't know that. I think we'd be closed if we served pizza with toilet
here's
seat
your
covers.
pizza, here's your toilet seat cover.
To be clear, it's like a makeup hack that
Yeah.
like makeup artists use, and they use a clean one. They don't use like a dirty one, but it's the same thing as like using a.
I don't think anybody thought they were using a dirty one. That wasn't. Nobody thought that. What are you talking about?
Not dirty, but like not like from like the I don't know, the clean side.
This next criticism, Caitlin, I feel is slightly unfair because I don't know that it's Daniel's fault specifically that a rectangle only has 4 corners.
Well, it's just a note. Is the middle, he gave out only corners. Is the middle piece as good? Obviously,
Right
the
over
edges
there.
are
Go
good.
ahead and try it. It's just as good.
Why is it Greek style? We don't know.
We're not-
Nobody knows.
We've
Wow.
not.
Then you came for the New Englanders too.
Yeah, I mean, I found a recipe that I like for this application. For this, like, I would use this. I would cook this at home. Like, if
Yeah.
Caitlin said, "Let's have square pizza night," I'm going to use this recipe because I have it now in the Rolodex.
Locked up there. Far better than your average pepperoni pizza. That was the comparison.
See? That's love.
It is.
I thought so here I'm torn. I love the cheesy crust in terms of like the richness it brings, like the added flavor. It was outrageously delicious. It had that crispiness. This is not any. I hesitate because like we made you bring this down here. It's room temperature. I do feel like the sort of like frico, the cheesy crust becomes like harder or like tougher than you want it to be once it cools down a little bit. And I love the fat that the cheese brings. It was kind of what I was like, we're talking about the olive oil for Brandon's like fat. It was like super nice. Like, I don't know that it would be worse
Right.
with just crust.
It would be very good too. I mean, you could also do the same thing just with the cheese on the outside. That was the first R&D I did, and then I was like, I want to kind of
You wanted to go all out, yeah. No, it's super delicious. That's why I'm torn on it. I think I loved what like you did with like grinding the pepperoni is so cool. I think I don't like pepperoni on pizza because I think it does not eat well. It's
Even the
you-
little baby cuppy ones.
maybe the little baby cuppy ones.
Yeah.
Come on.
Maybe the little baby cuppy ones, but the big one where
Yeah.
it just like yanks off.
Yeah.
the
Those don't even
cheese.
have great flavor.
Yeah.
That's
Not-
like 80s pepperoni.
Yeah.
You
I'm
wanna
not here for the
catch up.
the Ninja Turtle pepperoni.
Yeah.
I'm out on that.
2025 pepperonis come along with.
But also, there's never enough pepperoni is the problem. So it's like this solves all the problems because you have pepperoni everywhere.
Yeah, I really liked that idea. Just of like whatever the meat topping is, like grinding up into like the smaller pieces is nice. Unlike Brandon, I thought the heat was super nice. It wasn't
I
too
said
spicy.
some people. I would just say to be honest, I was having a hard time finding critiques. So I was like,
We actually say that at the restaurant when people when sous chefs will put up a dish and it'll be like spicy. I'm like, you gotta got to think about the white people.
You got to think about Brandon. I was wondering, just because Kenji says that Greek pizza is so bad, I feel like you might be misrepresenting Greek pizza because this was so good.
Yeah.
You might just be, people might
be turning them onto it.
This pizza. And I'm very glad that it was like all done at home, because like my other critique was, is it too good in the sense of,
is it like unapproachable?
well, yeah, you've sort of answered it, but if I don't have, Vesuvian tomatoes
Right.
and scamorza, and I don't have access to X, Y, or Z thing, is this legitimately replicable?
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean,
right?
I think because the dough, really what's important is that the dough bakes easily and is easy to make. You know what I mean? You don't need endless hours and endless supplies and stuff you can't get. Like I bought King Arthur bread flour from the supermarket to make this.
I actually think your dough would be exceptional for the Rhode Island thing too.
Yeah.
Like that'd be a really, really good combo.
At one point, I put cheese, like pecorino, different things, like shredded cheese at the bottom of it to create an extra, to put my spin on it. And I just didn't get it to that level. So part of the crunch and like when I was like, and I was like, I was like, this is what I was trying to get towards without realizing it.
Okay. So we've now heard from all three of our recipe reports. Before we get into the closing section here, where I'm going to award a winner and give us some takeaways, you all have one more chance to stand up and make the case for your respective dishes here. I'm going to go back to you, Caitlin. The floor is yours. It's pizza night in America, baby, and we're making something. Why should I be making the fried pizza salad?
You should be making the fried pizza salad because you and I both know that the best pizza is from a legit pizzeria, not your house. You need to make something pizza adjacent.
This is pizza adjacent. It is right next to pizza. I'm not supposed to do cross-examination during closing
No,
arguments.
please do. I can take it.
Fill out the rest of the table for me on pizza night here. Is it just pizza salads that we're having, or what else we got on the table for pizza night at your house?
That's a good question.
Beverages.
Oh, we have Lambrusco for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know we were going beverages. Yeah,
Because
obviously Lambrusco.
Lambrusco traditionally with gnocco frito, which is
Yes.
like the fried dough ball that you drape lardo on.
Yeah, Lambrusco is a sparkling red wine, traditionally served with a nice fatty fried.
Lardo
Food.
is so good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would have either anchovies on the dish, or I also prefer just a solid plate of anchovies, so you can just like pick up and solo anchovy it.
Real anchovy.
I love them so much. Yeah. But you could do like a little cured meat. You could do a charcuterie board. That would be lovely with this.
It's flexible.
It's totally
That's what I'm
flexible.
known for, charcuterie boards.
Pointing at Brandon because she was like, I thought he was just going to bring a charcuterie board today. Okay. Brandon, if it is pizza night and you've learned your lesson, you're not going to try to make your own Neapolitan style pizza. Why are we making Rhode Island party strips?
I think they're a crowd pleaser. Kids love them. Like I said, like when I was little, like when we were little, this was like the thing, So it's something about having something different. It's a conversation piece.
Ooh.
It's an automatic,
What is the conversation exactly? Like, what the hell is this?
Exactly, yeah. Then you get to talk about it for a little bit, and then people try it, and they say, "Oh," and then I get to talk about how I bake something, which will be a crowd pleaser too, because
Yes.
I don't ever do that. But I do think that like done correctly, and I recommend if you could make it your own to the point of basically talking about the different techniques that could be used in this. This is something that you could really make personalized. You could put, there's just grated Parmesan on it because that's the way it's traditionally done. But you could put gorgeous cheese on it, put it in for a little bit longer, maybe not the second rise, things like that. Really personalize it. It's your own personalized pizza. And it's sort of foolproof in a sense. Add a little olive oil, as Chris mentioned, maybe, But I do think that it's something interesting, something to try. If you are in Rhode Island, seek it out because it is, when done correctly and done right, it's something very delicious.
Is the Rhode Island Tourism Board cutting you a check for this? Or
Oh my
how's
God,
it?
yes.
Right.
Well, I tried
Brandon's
to
taking us to dinner.
I tried to make, like I said before, I tried to make it very specific so nobody would know what it was. And then you made something with the title New England in it. I was like,
Sorry.
Daniel, It is pizza night, and we're not going to be making a fried pizza salad. We're not making a Rhode Island pizza. Why are we making the Greek-style spicy chomper pizza?
Because it's easy. So easy.
Is it easier than your competitors too?
You don't have to risk third-degree burns, number one.
Oh, it's coming for me. Here it comes.
Car ride home. Car ride home.
I don't know what's involved in Brandon's dough, but it seems pretty easy. Make the dough, put the tomato sauce you bought from the store in the aisle on it, and
What do I
Parmesan.
say? Too easy.
Too easy? Yeah, I mean,
Oh, drag me.
it's easy. Easy's good for home cooking, man. Let me tell you, with 3 kids, easy, fast, easy is the best.
I'm with you. Okay. We've heard the arguments. We've heard the evidence. Coming up next, after a short break, we declare a winner. Okay. Before we announce the winner of pizza night, I'm going to provide you all with your doggy bag, 3 pieces of takeaway for a most excellent pizza night. First of all, as Caitlin brought up, don't try to compete with the restaurants. If you're going to make pizza night happen, pizza adjacent is best. And she exemplified that with the fried pizza salad, which honestly, you got to trademark. Second, if you're going to make something for pizza night, Brandon's point is it is a talking piece. I gave you a little stick about that, but the more I thought about it, like that is a great point. I would love to have something to talk about other than how great your homemade pizza is and how it's better than a restaurant. Anything that can break up that conversation is a real win for me. And finally, as Daniel demonstrated, if you are going to make pizza and not pizza adjacent for pizza night, whether it's Sicilian, Detroit style, Greek style, the sheet pan pizza is your best friend. That is what is going to turn out best at home. So if you're going to do pizza for pizza night, then it is sheet pan all the way. Now, for everyone's favorite part of a pizza night is the scoring and declaring of a winner. I feel this is like a real Family Feud episode. Like these are like, this is some Game of Thrones stuff happening here. So today, everyone has rated their competitors / family members' dishes with a maximum possible score of 5.0, which we average out to give us one number. I have also asked the producers in the booth, who are all amateur cooks who didn't taste anything yet, to give me an unbiased rating of which base recipe they would most likely make at home. And finally, I'm adding my own score for thoughtfulness and cleverness with which you guys approach this theme of movie night. So there's a maximum possible score of 15. I will say the taste scores were exceedingly close. So, Daniel, you came in first in deliciousness.
Okay, the chef came in first.
Caitlin, you were a very close second. Okay. Brandon, you were right there as well.
Oh.
I don't want you to think that third was a distant third. It was very close.
God, I appreciate that.
My producers did very little to help discern things because they were equally almost interested in every single one of these. They, as home cooks, you know, and pizza lovers all, they thought each one of these was very interesting. And I thought, honestly, you guys, under the guise of competition, I think you were all incredibly thoughtful in terms of what would be actually good for a pizza night. All that being said, all of this throat clearing out of the way, we do have a winner. And that winner today, for those making pizza at home, you should be making Daniel Cutler's New-England-Greek-Style Spicy Chomper. Daniel, you're not just going home with bragging rights over your wife. You are also taking home, and I almost hesitate to give this to you, this incredibly not practical, not food safe, but utterly adorable pizza peel, custom printed, that says, Mamma Mia, I won Recipe Club.
Oh my gosh.
So cute.
I didn't say that.
Again,
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia. Again, this is
the dabbing pizza slice.
Again, it is a custom Recipe Club pizza peel. It is, I cannot emphasize this enough, not food safe.
I would never use this even if it was food safe.
But can you imagine if you were just running a pizza station? But it makes an excellent piece of kitsch to decorate
Yes.
a guest
This is
bedroom
going
or
up in the kitchen.
garage
our
wall.
house.
Oh, there it is.
Framed.
Nice.
Brandon and Caitlin, of course you're not leaving empty-handed.
Oh my God.
Courtesy of our official cookware sponsors, Meyer, we are sending you home with some IO series cookware. This is the stuff that we use at home. Brandon can
wow.
attest.
Yes.
We legitimately
Thank
use this
you.
in the kitchen all the time.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
This is lovely. Thank you.
This was so fun having you guys. I hope that the family is going to stay together afterward. Caitlin, Brandon, Daniel, thank you very much for coming in here and sharing all your pizza knowledge with us. Thank you for watching and listening. Recipe Club is brought to you by Major Domo Media and The Ringer. Please visit majordomo.com where you can join the Discord, see all the recipes, gripe about what a bad job I'm doing, whatever it is you want to talk about. It's all happening at majordomo.com. We'll see you all very soon.